Namaste. Welcome to Tantra tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss about the basics of mantra chanting. Most of the people are contacting me and telling me, you're not discussing the sadhanas or mantras, you are just discussing the basics. Okay, you don't want to know the basics? See, I have seen a lot many videos where they share mantras and they have not shared the way of practicing that mantra. That would be useless, right? In Hindi, it's a proverb like "Adh kachra gyan hamesha hanikarak hota hai." When you have incomplete knowledge, instead of giving you any benefits, it can prove to be dangerous, right? So those who are sharing mantras like they are sharing popcorns among the public, I do not feel that they are doing right stuff. Rather, they are misguiding people into the stream of tantra and mantra. They are not giving them the precise way on how to do it, right? And it's not a game. If you are invoking a very strong divine power which can be furious in nature, for example Bhairav, Kali, Mahakal, or any such devata who in his pure form have anger as their main guna, right, or main quality. Such deities, they can get mad at you and may cause harm to you instead of any benefits if you annoy them. And how you will annoy them is very simple. You do something which they do not like, or do the mantra inappropriately in a wrong fashion, you will make them angry upon you. Would you like that? No, you would not. So just sharing a mantra, picking it up from books and just sharing on YouTube for the sake of getting likes is not my target. I do not I do not mind if I do not have 5,005 followers and 1 million hits or whatsoever. I really do not go by numbers. I don't need that. I'm sharing this knowledge in its pure form so that you can get benefit, even though two people incorporate this knowledge in their life in the whole wide world watching my videos. That's enough for me. I do not want everybody to follow it. It's tough path. I know that. I understand that. I'm still a sadhak. I'm still on this journey and it will never end. I die, until I die. So it's not easy. Yeah. But if you have decided to walk on this path, I will tell you exactly what to do. I will not misguide you. I'll share each and every bit of knowledge that I have, and I will also share my experience, which is very rare to find in any books. Nobody will discuss their personal experiences with you. They will not tell you what they have learned by their own mistakes, right? And I would not completely blame them because there is a rule in mantra sadhana which I was going to discuss today. Gopaniyah Gopaniyam Digambare. So it says that when you keep your sadhana secret, when you keep your mantra secret, only then it can be fruitful. If you reveal the secrets of your sadhana or the procedures by which you practice spirituality, specifically the mantras, then even it is said if you say that mantra to somebody in the dream, then also you may lose the power in that mantra. Okay, so that's why people do not reveal their experiences. And hey, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing in my daily worship, what mantras I have got siddhi of, and I will not reveal my own secret mantras to you. No, the mantras which has been passed on to me by real genuine people and my guru, with the promise that I will now not reveal it to somebody, anyone except my own students, my own pupils, my shishyas. I cannot reveal it on this platform on virtual media. No, I cannot do that, right? But I will share those mantras which has been given in Vedas and which are very much easily accessible to you in the form of books. But I will only pick up those mantras which are not harmful and easy to practice, as well as I feel are genuine, because there are many mantras printed out in various books in India. Yeah, I know it's a big market over there, and most of them, they are not in their original form and would not work, right? So although although the mantras do not work just because of the quality they have, but the way they are made, but also by your faith and trust. So you can make any word a mantra if you have full devotion and faith in it, right? But when you get a mantra which has been created by a rishi in its original form, then it becomes really, really easy to get the power. Why? Because that rishi have made that mantra after intense tapa, intense worship and meditation, and have created those mantra based on the sounds it will be generating and providing a particular effect, right? You know what I mean? So no doubt you can learn something by yourself, but if you follow a professor who is a master in its trade, it's make it easier, and you will take less time to become the master instead of you try to do it by your own, right? So less effort, more effort. So both ways will work, but it's up to you what you want to choose. Okay, what is mantra? You chant a set of words repetitively to generate some energies, and these energies are going to help you achieve your goals. Mantra is made from two words, man and tra, and tra is also a form of a word which is used in tantra, mantra, yantra. So when you do a sadhana of any particular mantra, it means that you are atma sadhing. Like man is your subconscious, right? Man, your chitta, your we say it hard, but heart do not think, right? It's your soul, your inner conscious, right, which is your man. And when you when you and absorb the energies of this particular set of words and understand the energies, which are logged in that mantra, that's the sadhana of it, right? That's the practice of it. That's what you're doing to understand and unlock the key of those sounds and vibrations created by the chanting of those mantra. Okay. Now, what are the various basic rules of it? For females, you need not have to do a Purushcharna to get a siddhi of a mantra. Purushcharna is very much important in Tantric and Vedic mantras, but not that much very important in the mantras which has been created in the Kali Kal, which is Kali Yuga, like the created by Naths, Sabra mantras, like those created by Muslims in Muslim Tantra, like those created by Jains, but Jains also say to perform yagna. Okay, so and also from Sikhism, where like from Vadbhag Singh Dera, you get that Sankat Mochan Gutka, and in that also you do not have to perform those Purush Charanas, which is required in the mantras created the time before Kali Kal, before Kali Yuga, which can be regarded as with Vedic mantras or Tantrok mantras, right? Now, why females are exempt, I do not know, but it is written in Vedas that they do need not have to the Purushcharana to get the Siddhi. By just the jap or recitation of a mantra, they get the power or the Siddhi of that mantra, right? But the basic requirements like meditation, focusing on the mantra, being pure at the time of doing that is also required to females. They Females cannot continue their mantra chanting during the 5 days of their menses. For few it can be 3 days, for few it can be six as well. So for the number of days they are observing menses, the cycle, they have to quit doing that particular mantra. So for example, if a female have started mantra chanting for 21 days, and then I have done the sankalpa to do that, and during that 21 days she observed menses, then for those 3 4 days she will have to quit it. She cannot even touch the mala, the rosary, and she do not have to perform the japa. She just do not have to do any kind of worship, and after that period is gone, from the very next day she can continue it. So for example, it started in 10 days after beginning of that mantra sadhana, and there was a gap of 4 days. From that, the next day, fifth day, the 11th day of the sadhana will begin for a female. Okay, so there will be no dosh, no harm in it. Okay, but for a man, as it says Purush Charana, so for a man, Purush, he have to perform Purush Charana to get complete siddhi of the mantra. What is Purush Charana? Purush Charana is doing the Shansh Havan, then the Shansh Tarpan, Havan Tarpan Marjan, and the Shansh Marjan, and then Brahmin Bhoj, the Shansh of it. Now, for those people who do not understand Hindi, I would make you understand. So, for example, in 21 days, you have to chant 100,000 times a mantra. 100,000 times, right? It can be 500,000 times too, depending upon the caliber that you can do. Each day, you can do it. So, I will explain in every sadhana upcoming how to do that. So, for example, you have to chant 100,000 times of the mantra. So when you chant there, whenever you chant, you use a 108 bead rosaries. Rosary. I'll also show you mine. I have many. So here is my rosary. If you can see that, I have Munga Mala. I have Hakik Mala, I have Manik Mala, and so many of that. So this is a Rudraksh bead rosary, and it has 108 beads, and the 109th bead should not be considered. This one is the one of it where the both ends meet. So this bead have not to be counted and also have not to be crossed. So when you chant, well, like this, and while you chant, you should keep it in mind that your little finger should not touch it, and you should put it on your ring finger and then chant it with your middle finger like this, right? That's the best way. But if you're worried, you can hold it over here with the thumb so that it do not slip away. If it slips away, then you have to chant that particular set again from the very beginning. And when you reach the very end, okay, like over here, you need not have to cross it. You rather turn the rosary around and start chanting in the same direction. You need not have to cross this ever. Okay, and when you chant one rosary 108 times is equal to 100. It should not be equal to 108, right? So you do not count the 8 number. One rosary equal to 100. Keep that mathematical rule for counting the number of chants. So if you have to chant 100,000 times, you are going to chant 100,000 times divided by 100. That will be your figure for the number of rosaries. So that is will be how much? Right? So you chant 1,000 times this one rosary to achieve 100,000 chant of that particular mantra. After you have completed that chant, now a man would have to do 10th part of the total japa. uh, he have to do a havan, like a yagya, not yagya, havan, right? Yeah, but yagya is a different thing. So in that yagya, what you have to do is you take some havan samagri, and for every mantra japa and for every different deity, the havan samagri is gonna be different. Havan samagri is the offerings that you give into the havan, okay, into the agni. Now, for those who are not understanding Havna, it's like you light up a fire using a specific kind of wood in a particular space, and it can be of different forms. It can be rectangular, triangular, but most of the time you keep it rectangular. That will do for the most of the mantra sadhanas. And then with these three fingers, you start offering with the mantra chanting along with that to the Devata in the form of Havna, right? So every time you chant a mantra, for example, your mantra is Om Namah Shivaya, that you have recited 100,000 times. And when you do the Havna, you say Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Every time you are going to offer something to the Agni, into the Havna, into the fire, you have to attach Swaha in the end of the mantra you have chanted. Sometimes the mantra itself consists of Swaha in the end, right? In that way, you need not have to say Swaha twice. Okay, so that's the way to do a havan. Then after you have completed the havan, you have to do 10th part of the count of the number you have done havana for. You have to do tarpan. Tarpan is like taking like offering water to the water itself, right? So when I have to do it, what I would do is I'll take a pure, untouched, unused steel vessel like a garbi in India. You would be aware of that, and with a spoon I would take out the water from the garbi, and while chanting it, like for an example, this case, Om Namah Shivaya Tarpayami. When you say Tarpayami, when you say that, you offer that water back into the vessel, into that particular utensil, right? And then you take it out again, you say the mantra, and in the end you add Tarpayami. and you have to do 10th part of the number you have done Havan for. So if you have done 100,000 times recitation of a mantra in your mantra chanting, right? And you divide it by 10, okay? So you have to do 10,000 times Havana, and then you divide it by 10. You have to do 1,000 times Tarpan, right? And when you divide it by 10, you have to do 100 times Marjan. Marjan is like you take some grass tied with a molly, a red colored thread. You can easily find it. In Indian stores, right? And then dip that durva or that grass in water. Then while you do that, you just say Om Namah Shivaya Marjayami, and then sprinkle it on all over you, right? You do that 100 times, and when you divide that 100 to 10, you get the number of 10, which is Brahmin Bhoj. So you offer food to the 10 Brahmins, right? Not the Brahmins by birth, the Brahmins by their karma. When I say Brahmins by their karma, who have devoted their life to worshipping of God, you offer to them food, and after they have eaten, you offer some kind of dakshina in the form of some money to them, and touch their feet, get blessings, and blessings of getting success in that particular mantra sadhana. I know it's tough, it's very complicated. I know that, but magic is not that easy. Supernatural powers, they do not come that easy. And I'm not saying that with the very first attempt you may get success. It may take many attempts to achieve the first success. And once you have achieved one siddhi, uh, yeah, the siddhi of other mantras will become pretty easy. And if you follow the other videos that I have uploaded till date, and you follow them, the of Trataka, achieving Dhyan, as well as of achieving thoughtless mind and Nyas, then you will be increasing your chances of success too. Now, coming on to the other things that you have to consider while doing mantra japa is that before you start a mantra japa, you have to take a bath. You have to have a pure body, mind, and soul. Clear mind, thoughtless mind, focused mind will be the key of success. If you're chanting a mantra and while you're chanting it, your mind is thinking about what are your responsibilities towards your family? What are you going to do tomorrow? Or with anger towards someone who have mistreated you today, you are not actually focusing on that divine energy of mantra and the deity or you whom you are worshipping. That mantra chant will go waste. It will not be helpful. So focus is very much important. Calm, pure mind is very much important. After you have done that, sit down on a very clean asana. And asana is very important. Most of the time, asana of black blanket, pure black blanket will do for most of the sadhanas. But if there is any exception in particular mantra, I'll tell you during these mantra videos upcoming. But asana should be at least 6 inches above ground. Okay, so if you are using a blanket, you have to make it into folds, and the height of that blanket when you sit on it should be 6 inches above ground. Why is that? Because if you are very close to the ground or actually sitting on the ground, the energies that you are generating while you are chanting the mantra, they will be absorbed into Prithvi, the earth, and will not be very much effective. It's very simple funda, like electricity goes into through the body. If you are barefoot, through the body into the earth, and you just become uh, a conductor of electricity, and it do not stay in your body, right, for long. So if you want to generate those energies, and instead of letting them go out of your body, channel them towards your kendras, your chakras, your kundalini, then you have to use the asana and do not get in touch with the ground. That's why asana is required, right? Okay, then disha vichar. Most of the time, Ishan Kund, northeast direction, facing towards that direction would be best. Okay. That will do for most of the sadhanas, unless until I specify another different direction to face in a particular sadhana, right? So keep that in mind, because in sadhanas, disha is also very much important, right? Okay. Now, most of the people will wonder what would it do to chant a particular set of months, like words? What difference it will make? Okay, so if you can influence the mind of a person just by thinking about it, as I have mentioned in my earlier videos, what if you can combine that energy with physical energy of sound, vibration? If you combine that, you are increasing the power. Now, if you say things, how it will create energies to affect the physical world, how it will be making a difference. That's pretty easy to demonstrate. When we are saying something, our voice that's coming out of our mouth, it's not the only thing which is vibrating and creating energies or sound energy, right? This vibration is spread through entire body of yours, and most prominently you can observe those vibrations on the top of your head over here. So if you say something, and while saying something, if you keep your hand over here, you can feel those vibrations. Even though it's not sound, but you can feel it. It's also said in Vedas, if you chant Om and you feel the vibrations, then you are okay. But by the time natural death is going to happen, in 4 days before that, you will stop feeling these vibrations over here. I'm not telling you to scare you away for that, but it is said in Vedas. Like this will indicate the time when the time will come. In 4 days you will die. Okay, so it's a test that you can do every day to see if you are all okay, good to go for another 4 days. Okay, so when you chant a mantra repetitively, one another time, again and again, you are actually piling up the same energies which will go from here to here to here to here to here to an extent which will become significant enough to manifest your desire or what you are trying to achieve with that mantra chanting. Okay, so I also want to discuss one more story which will tell you how important is faith in this particular stream of mantra chanting tantra. If you take any mantra and you do not have a faith in it, you do not do it with devotion, you do not do it with concentrated mind, calm mind, it will be a waste. Okay, God lies in faith, and so do mantras, right? So if you do not have faith in any mantra, it will not work for you. Trust me, you chant it million times, it will not work. Okay, I'm going to share a story. There was a farmer in old times in India, and he was watering his fields with the help of an old method of irrigation, where they would use two bowls to pull out water from a well with the it was a cycle of small buckets which will go inside and take out water and pour into the fields, and this would be operated by two bulls. Okay, tied to the whole basic machinery, right? Uh, the farmer was sitting onto the edge of the well and you know watering his fields, and he was about to eat his lunch, and at the very moment two saints came and asked for something to eat. He offered them his share of lunch and bowed to their feet and said, "This is what I have got, so you take it. I'll manage and I'll go home in the evening and eat." They became very happy on his favor, and they were willing to help him to give him something to make him spiritually enlightened, right? Because that's what saints do. That's what their karma is. That's their main target is to spread knowledge of wisdom and spirituality, right? To help common people achieve the heights of spirituality, staying in that grahastha, staying in that worldly duties. They thought about it and they felt that if we give him some complicated mantra of Sanskrit, this common farmer who is not that much educated, who do not know how to say things in Sanskrit, he would forget it. He would forget about the mantra and would not chant. So while they were standing there and the bulls were irrigating that fields, there was a sound coming out from the repetitive movement of that basic machinery, which was like ragardu, ragardu, ragardu. That was the sound which was created. Okay, it was very close to what I said. So they ordered that farmer that whenever you are sitting in your fields and irrigating your fields or doing your work, think of a man who has four arms and who lie on a big snake, and the goddess of wealth is she is serving him, and he she is sitting in his feet, right? Imagine such a person and keep chanting this name Ragardu. This is the name of that person and is the god of entire universe. He said, "Okay, Satvachan Babaji, I'll do that. Like I'll do as you said." Because that was the mentality of a common farmer. He would do whatsoever a knowledgeable man would say. He would he would trust them. In these days, this trust is lacking, and I'm not completely blaming all you guys, because there are many people who have tricked common people, and because of that, common people have lost trust in them, right? But in the old times, that was not the case. There was a lot of trust and faith to towards the saints, right? Okay, so blindly he followed their command. He started chanting it on an everyday basis, even though it was not a mantra. His voice reached the Vaikuntha, the dham of Lord Vishnu, and he started, and even along with him, Goddess Lakshmi started listening to those sounds of Ragardu over there. And it to their surprise, Lakshmi questioned Vishnu, like, "What is this? What kind of noise or sound is this? I have never heard of any such thing. I have never I have never heard of any such name of yours." And to that, Lord Vishnu replied, "This is a new devotee of mine who have given me a new name, and I like this new name and I accept it." And Goddess Lakshmi showed curiosity to go and visit that particular person who is chanting that new name of Lord Vishnu, because he was just doing with faith and no doubts in his mind. This new name even worked, this new mantra even worked, right? So both of them came into the fields, and Lord Vishnu asked Lakshmi to hide in the fields, and while he changed his looks and make himself look like a different farmer from a different village, like not from his village, right? Um, and went in front of that particular farmer who was chanting his name, new name Ragardu, right? And when the farmer opened his eyes, he saw the that person standing in front of him, and he realized and recognized him in the very first glance. He said, "Oh Ragardu, where is your wife? Why have you make her hid in the in the fields? Call her also. I want to meet her too." So with the new mantra, no one have chanted before, no rishi have created before, just because an enlightened saint have given this mantra to that particular person, because that's also very important. And this person chanted with utter faith and no doubts in his mind. This new mantra also worked and made the God manifest in front of him. And not only that, he got that knowledge toward that developed sixth sense, because of that, even God was not being able to hide behind the fake attire, right? Faith is very important. Mantras are too. If you are getting it from a knowledgeable person, a enlightened person, it will transfer a bit of energy from that person to you, and it will unlock the mantra to an extent, so it becomes easier for you to understand and to practice it. So There are other more complicated things. I would not make you go into that because most of the mantras created in the Vedic kaal are Kilin. It means their power is locked. So until you unlock that with the Utkilin mantras, they will not work. I will try not to discuss those mantras which are too complicated to follow. I would focus on the mantras which are easy to follow and can be performed easily without any complications. So please stay tuned. And once the mantra videos will start, it will not be that lengthy like these are because these are basics, and I have to explain the basics in a very detailed fashion so there is least chances of confusion and higher chances of success. I hope you enjoyed this new video as well. If you did, please hit like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page, and stay tuned. God bless you all. Namaste.